Signal is a messaging type platform that's been around for a while. Graham, can you give us the Reader's Digest version of what this is all about?
Sure. So Signal is an open source piece of software, which means that you can see all of the source code. And so that's one of the reasons that we know that it's secure. To give you, some ringing endorsements, Edward Snowden says that he uses it every single day. And it's the app I'm trying to move everybody to. I've kind of become a broken record on it, but I'm good. I'm happy to stay in that groove for a while. So right now you're probably using a couple of different things to talk to each other. You could be using SMS, you could be using WhatsApp, you could be using Facebook Messenger, iMessage. Out of those, the most secure is iMessage. SMS is not secure. It's not encrypted at all, which means that being able to get access to SMS messages, pretty darned easy, both for law enforcement and for people that have perhaps some nefarious purposes that they might have for your conversations. WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger and even Instagram Messenger, they are now the same thing. And so this is something that happened last week. WhatsApp was acquired by Facebook, last year before, something like that. There's over 1 billion users of WhatsApp. And essentially what WhatsApp has done is they have announced that they are going to be relaying all of that data and conversations back to Facebook. So when you start thinking about, those times where ads pop up after you've had a conversation with someone, usually that means that there's something going on in your life where your search patterns are saying some things about you. And those ads are targeted to those things that you have been thinking about, discussing. They're little tells that perhaps, you don't even know that you're thinking about it, but Facebook's getting very good at predicting these things. So all of your personal data, all of those conversations, all those things that you think are private with WhatsApp and with Facebook are not. Now, there are ways to make them private inside those apps. There are secret conversations that you can set up, but they're a real pain in the neck to use. Whereas Signal is inherently end-to-end encrypted on its own. And so they're catching up to Facebook Messenger in a lot of ways. The group chats are there. Group video chats are there. End-to-end encryption is there. And there's something called a secret number, which is generated when you log on to the Signal server, which you can basically scan a QR code to make sure that the person that you're talking to is actually the person that you're talking to. You won't get spoofed by having somebody with a similar name or a similar phone number pop up. So when you're looking to have a more private conversation, this is the way to do that. Now, sort of in the context of Parler, can you have conversations that perhaps would be censored on other platforms? You can. I'm going to go back to our previous segment and say, if you think that you're being silenced for something, perhaps do some reflection on why that might be.
So Signal is more of a messaging platform. It's not necessarily a competitor or replacement to like a Twitter or Parler. It's more for the people that would use like iMessage, text messaging, WhatsApp.
Very much, yeah. And so this is a communications platform. Right now, it doesn't look like they're looking at having some sort of social media network presence. We're seeing a bunch of other places pop up where people can talk to each other. John, you had some invites for one as well. I saw it earlier today. What's that one called?
It's called Clubhouse, and it's basically an audio platform where basically imagine you're at a party and there's a group of people talking about a topic. You're basically a guest in that conversation. So there's different rooms you can go to where people have specific topics that they're talking about, and you can listen in or you can participate in the conversation. So, but it's audio only. There's no texting. There's no anything else. And right now it's only for the iPhone, and it's in a private beta. So it's very early days, and it's to be determined exactly what the full version of the software will actually allow you to do.
So this actually brings me to two things, because I teach social media marketing and social media at a couple of different schools, Capital NAU being one of them. And the thing that I've been talking about for the last couple of years is that social media has moved, web presence has moved from sort of websites to social media as far as social media marketing. And I've said for the last couple of years, we're going to be getting into a place where people like Facebook specifically are going to try to get into your conversations. You've probably seen those ads show up in Facebook Messenger. And so this has actually been the evolution of how we are communicating, going from sort of that static broadcast platform to a dynamic broadcast platform that was social media to this interactive conversation based. And this is exactly the path that we were going to take. So looking at, Signal and looking at Clubhouse, the one-to-one presence, or even like many-to-many presence that we're seeing in these places is the evolution of where things are going, which means that things like Twitter, they're going to have to evolve because, again, the conversation feels very asynchronous, whereas synchronous conversations, things where you're present, are actually going to be where we're having these conversations going forwards. Now, there's one thing that we do need to keep in mind with Signal as far as security goes. It is a very secure platform. But before the segment, Jen and I were chatting, and if you're on an Android platform, there's something you need to keep an eye out for, and that's third-party keyboards. The keyboard that comes with your device inherently, can't say for certain, should be secure, but a third-party keyboard can actually scrape your data and send it back home, and that could be to whoever created that keyboard. So keep that in mind. If you're using Signal, use the stock keyboard, you're going to be secure.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page. And you know that little bell icon? Hit that and you'll be notified every time we post a new video. And comment. The more comments and the more likes and subscriptions we get, the more videos we can make.